Good morning, Villa fans, and welcome to, transfer talk. Welcome to Marcus Rashford. The big breaking news came through sort of last night that he has now joined Aston Villa on a 4-month loan deal until the end of the season. I actually did call this as well a few episodes ago. I did sort of mention that, especially the last 48 hours of a transfer window can be a bit crazy, and players, end up in places that maybe originally they didn't want to. Maybe Rashford was looking at Barcelona or AC Milan as an option, and obviously, those don't come through, and what's left on the table, and it's like, well, Villa were there and we've swooped, and I, for one, am really excited about this signing. I know that he's gone through difficulties at Man United over the last couple of years, but there still is a player in there. He's still, 27 years of age. There is a coach like Unai Emery that can work with him and get sort of him back to somewhere like his best. And I think he just needs a new environment. I mean, Man United, that was like, the marriage had broken down. It was in the sort of the roommate kind of phase, if you know what I mean, in terms of a marriage there. So I think it was time for him to move on, a new challenge. He's spoken this morning, done his Villa TV interview. Can somebody get him to the barbers, please? Because he needs to have that hair trimmed and sort out his beard, and he looks a bit scraggly and looks like he's been sleeping on a park bench or something and drinking too many B&Cs. But yeah, he needs to, I'm sure that he's going to be knuckling down. He was looking forward to sort of getting on the training pitch, and he's eligible to make his debut on Sunday against Tottenham in the FA Cup. So he didn't play for Man United in their sort of cup run. So that will be probably where we'll see the first sighting of Marcus Rashford in an Aston Villa shirt at Villa Park, which would be nice. And it would be kind of under the lights, I suppose, like 5:30, a kickoff. So that would be quite good to see as well. The money situation, obviously, I'm not paying for it, so it doesn't really matter to me. But we're covering sort of 70% of his salary, which probably equates to nearly 200,000 a week, which is a lot of money. But then if you look at it and break it down, he's only here for 4 months. So that's probably between 6 and 7 million that we're actually paying for Marcus Rashford to be here. And if he comes in, gets between, 8 and 10 goals for us between now and the end of the season, plays well, contributes towards, our Champions League, and gives us that extra option, not just from the bench, but he'll look to be a starter. And we'll talk about where he's going to sort of figure, slot in here, because he's got different positions that he can play. He can play. He's played most of his football and the best of his football from the left, cutting in and being that sort of attack-minded player. At the moment, we've probably got Jacob Ramsey that plays in that role, and a little bit more, maybe more tucked in than what Rashford does. Rashford tends to hang a little bit more wide and then sort of be explosive. So we've got that with sort of Leon Bailey on the right-hand side. Well, I say we've got it, we haven't seen it. But, and there's rumours about Bailey looking to move on perhaps in the next 24 hours too as well. But Rashford, he can play from the left and give us that option there. He can play as the 10 as well, and sort of, kind of rotate with Morgan Rogers, because we've seen Rogers play really well in games. And then when he has the follow-up game, he struggles. So like the Celtic game, tremendous. The Wolverhampton game, it's not his greatest. But this is what I mean. We can't have an over-reliance on somebody like Morgan Rogers to perform week in, week out. And having players like this man here, Rashford, and Asensio coming through the door, hopefully in the next few hours, that's going to alleviate, the stress and the pressure on people like Morgan Rogers, like Jacob Ramsey, who are still young players, 22 and 23. You're bringing in people like Asensio, 29, and Rashford, 27. That is only going to be to our benefit. We've got Daniel Marlon as well, who can play from sort of the right wing or as a striker as well. So all of a sudden now, yes, we've got rid of John Duran, but now we've got, Watkins is probably the main man. I'm not sure what that groin injury is saying, but we've got Rashford that can play through the middle and has done that pretty well. We've got Daniel Marlon, who did it against Wolves, and let's be fair, he could have had a hat-trick in that second half when he played. Had that goal disallowed, had a one-on-one which was saved, and then a nice sort of shot from the edge of the box which was well saved again. So all of a sudden now we've got those options in the attacking third. Asensio, I don't see him playing up front at all. He is your number 10. He doesn't really have the pace to play out wide but he has a hell of a rocket of a shot. From what I remember from his Real Madrid game. I mean, Real Madrid days, I mean, he was like goal of the season, compilation. Basically, all of his goals were. So it's exciting times. These next sort of 24 hours or less than 24 hours now are going to be crucial for Villa. I think Asensio looks like he's through the door. Centre back is required. The breaking news just coming out now is that Disasi is turning down Tottenham, even though Chelsea want to send him to Tottenham and don't want to send him to Villa because we're obviously rivals for Champions League spot. But it looks like Disasi has already agreed kind of terms with Villa. And now Chelsea are kind of like not sure about whether to loan him to us or not, whether to strengthen us or not. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the next few hours go. If it's not going to be Disasi, there's no other name coming through. Danso joined Spurs yesterday. Tomori looks like he's staying at Milan. He did play last night, I think it was in the Milan derby. So it doesn't look like he's going to be moving. So it might be a name out of left field for the centre back, but we do need a centre back. That's absolutely critical. If we signed Asensio and don't get a centre back in, that is absolutely madness. I mean, even when we had Diego Carlos, we still needed another centre back because Pau Torres was out. We've got rid of Diego Carlos. So really, we need at least one centre back. I mean, I don't see any more than one coming in now, but one at least minimum. And there's no clear name apart from Disasi that's been mentioned. And if this is going to move, it's going to move very quickly. This morning, we've seen Sai Swinkles join Bristol Rovers on loan. We've seen Kosta Nedeljkovic go to RB Leipzig on loan, which they've already got Gertruda playing at right back. So I'm not sure the sense in that, but maybe he's having more of a chance as a backup, second choice, rather than being a fourth choice right back for us, as it looks at the moment. So, and also he's got an option of a permanent transfer as well for 15 million. So maybe he hasn't clicked. Maybe, Emery's looked at him and decided, actually, he's not quite what I thought he was going to be. But anyway, so, I mean, Marcus Rashford, talking about this signing, the day that Marcus Rashford signs for Aston Villa, I never thought I'd see. And the day that we sign a player for Man United where we're the better team, again, is something that I never thought I would see. But obviously, we have been the better team for a few years now. So it's really exciting. If you watch his compilation and his goals reel, fantastic player. I mean, first of all, what a finisher. He has great ability to go past players, especially in the box. What we've seen recently of Marcus Rashford is, a lack of work rate, a lack of intensity. He looks like he's had sort of, off the field kind of problems going on. So this could go, one of two ways. This could be another Dele Alli or Jesse Lingard, and he doesn't kick on and he doesn't improve. And, that could be him just, finished. Or Unai Emery manages to get the best out of him again. Give him a bit more vigor. I think also having the players around him, the likes of Ollie Watkins, who he's played in the England squad with, Tyrone Mings has been there as well. I think he knows Conser. I think he knows Barkley, the English lads there. I think he knows them all, which is going to help him settle in. He's obviously got Rodgers and Ramsey, who are going to kind of look up to him a little bit, I suppose, similar sort of age bracket. But, Rashford's achieved a lot in the game. Having that player in your dressing room. I mean, we did with Coutinho, but Coutinho, obviously, we got on a permanent eventually. I mean, I think we had on loan first of all, and he had that kind of impact, when he first came in, but then it slowly kind of dwindled. But Rashford's 27. He has the ability to kick on. He's got age and time on his side. He can definitely improve. I think he'll improve us. I think, we have lacked a lot in the final third in games. And him coming in from that, either the left-hand side, rotating with Jacob Ramsey, or playing as a 10 or as a striker. Those are the options there. I mean, on the right-hand side, I can't really see that. And Leon Bailey today has been linked with a move to Man United. I could see that happening. I can see something happening there. I mean, I think Leon Bailey, he's from Jamaica. Obviously, the most famous Jamaican is Usain Bolt, who's a massive Man United fan. I'm sure playing for Man United for Leon Bailey would mean a lot, even though, we're quite the better team at the moment. I could see Leon Bailey. I think Tottenham have even asked about his availability. But Bailey, again, maybe he needs to go somewhere and just rediscover his form a little bit, because he's really, really dropped off a cliff in terms of his form and his ability compared to the Leon Bailey from last season. So maybe a change of scenery for him might work wonders, especially if we're bringing in someone like Asensio as well. So, all of a sudden, our attacking options in that sort of behind the striker, you've got Rashford, Ramsey, you've got Rodgers, you've got Marlon, you've got John McGinn, having even talked about. You've got Tielemans that can play a little bit more advanced as well. There might be one or two that I'm forgetting here as well. But all of a sudden, we've got options there. So, if Leon Bailey does leave the club today, I don't think I'd be that bothered, to be fair. I think we've got enough cover and enough ability, especially if Asensio comes in. I can't see João Felix coming in, by the way. I think it's going to be either Asensio or Felix, and it looks like Asensio is having his medical and it's all pretty much done. And João Felix is someone that we've looked at, and looks like AC Milan are going to probably sign him, and he'll probably fit in well there. But João Felix is just one of those ones where he's like a girl that you want to go out with. You ask out, they keep saying no, and it's like, well, forget it, move on. Do you know what I mean? So it comes to a point where you've just got to close the door on João Felix and just say, no, that's never going to happen. We've inquired and shown our interest a few times. Now it just looks like we're getting desperate for him. So just leave him to one side. He's not even that great, to be honest. I mean, I think Emery just sees something in him. But, I can probably see us moving for someone like Alex Buena in the summer, perhaps. So this fits all parties, this Marcus Rashford loan. He needs to get out of there, 4 months at Villa, show what he can do, rediscover some form and some magic. Obviously, he's got his sights on sort of England as well, so I'm sure that he's going to be putting in the effort. And Unai Emery will not put up with players who are sulking and not doing what they should be. So, this is Unai Emery's kind of mantra, really, that, you have to work hard. You have to earn your spot. He doesn't take any fools. And I'm sure, Rashford has been made aware of that. And I'm sure that we'll see a different Marcus Rashford. I'm sure that he wants to prove to Man United that, I am still a good player. I've been just mismanaged, or, I'm sure he's got a point to prove to Amorim, Ten Hag, and even managers before that have sort of doubted him a little bit as well. So he's coming in with a bit of a chip on his shoulder, which is kind of good, because that's what we want. We want players who have that bit between the teeth and want to prove themselves. And when he gets the ball now, I'm sure there'll be a huge anticipation from the crowd, that he can do something. But I'm really excited about what can happen now. It's 4 months. I mean, he said himself that he wants to come in and do well, and he realizes it's a short term. Will he use this move as a springboard to a bigger move maybe in the summer? Perhaps. Maybe Barcelona might come knocking. Then obviously Barcelona couldn't register Dani Olmo because of reasons, and obviously I think they can't sign players like Rashford now because of that same reason. But comes the summer, things might change, and if he does come here and score 8 to 10 goals for Villa for the rest of the season, we've got an option to buy him as well for 40 million apparently. And if we can get Rashford getting 8 to 10 goals and assisting and settling him well, and we can make that transfer permanent, that'll be outstanding. But I'm not sure how the wages would fit on that as well. He'll have to take a drop in his salary. But let's see. Let's cross that bridge when we come to it. But for me, it makes sense. And it was a transfer that I called, a few kind of weeks ago, just out of the blue. As I said, I just didn't think he'd get that move that he wanted. There were links with Barcelona, Milan, I think Dortmund were looking at him, but none of them were coming through. And all of a sudden, Villa, with the Duran kind of money behind us a little bit, and it's only costing 6 to 7 million. So it just makes sense. It just makes a lot of sense there. He's in line to make his debut against Tottenham. Obviously, he's going to have a week of training now, which would be good to get to know his teammates, get to know the system, get to know the position maybe that he's going to play, and how that's different to maybe how he's played sort of left wing kind of before. I very much see this as an exciting signing, and I, for one, can't wait to see how he gets on. I hope he does well now that he's a Villa player. I will be fully supporting Marcus Rashford. But he needs to put in the effort. There needs to be that sort of kick up the backside a little bit. But as I said, Asensio, medical, ongoing at the moment. Announcement due imminently. Disasi has turned down Tottenham. Looks like we could still be in the picture there, but that one might go late to the window, late into the night probably. If not, then I hope Monchi and Emery have a plan B and a plan C for the centre-back, because we desperately need a centre-back. If this window finishes without us bringing in a centre-back, that's rubbish. That's poor. If we strengthened with Asensio and Rashford and not brought in a centre-back, that is poor. I don't want to see Boubacar Kamara at centre-back again. I don't know how long Mings is out for, but with Mings, you have to be careful with him. You can't expect him to be playing sort of 2 games a week. You know, he needs to be rotated. And I don't know when Pau Torres is back. Is it back at the end of March? But we get how many games between now and then? There's a fair few games. Do you know what I mean? We can't just be relying on Boubacar Kamara to play there, because we're taking our best player out of his best position to plug a hole that we need to sign someone. And now I think now with Swinkle's gone to Bristol Rovers, because he was the next in line perhaps, that gives me confidence that we are going to sign a centre-back or 2 in the next few hours. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. Please do like, subscribe. As soon as we get another signing through the door, which will probably be Asensio, I'll jump back on and we can have a little chat about him. But Marcus Rashford, welcome to Aston Villa. I can't believe I'm saying that. 4 months, give it your all. Give it your all. You know, come and be happy. Play some good football. You're unwanted at Man United. Last player that we got from Man United that was unwanted, I believe, was Paul McGrath, and he turned into an absolute legend for us. You know, can Rashford turn into a legend in 4 months? But yeah, guys, like, subscribe. Let's help grow the channel. Any more transfer news coming through, I'll jump back on. Until the next video, guys, which could be in the next few hours. Speak to you then. Bye-bye.